Hey, you guys and girls. Um. Oh yeah, I've been looking up like connected universes and like theories and stuff, confirmed ones and non-confirmed ones, and how they have these theories that all TV shows are connected, or all video games are connected, or whatever. Anyway, I've been looking up crossovers, which are an official canonized universes, and there's some pretty interesting ones out there. Uh, I mean, the big ones like the DC Cinematic Universe and the Arrowverse and the Marvel Cinematic Universe and the Horrorverse, which is the theory that a lot of our classic horror movies, well, I'd say modern classic, like Freddy and Jason and Michael Myers and that kind are connected. But did you know that the Universal Monsters line were all in the same universe way back when, and they had the original cinematic universe? Plus, there's awesome, cool crossovers which link. Get this, they link, and there's Easter eggs and stuff that link Star Wars and Star Trek. Marvel and DC. What a concept. And like there's famous ones in comics. Of course, there's the amalgam universe, which mixes Marvel and DC, but I'm talking about there's other connections. And there's connections and Easter eggs and stuff, and movies and stuff that connect other movies to movies and stuff. And then, of course, there's the Quentin Tarantino universe, where everything that Quentin Tarantino starred in, directed, produced, etc., are all connected in one crazy movie franchise. You might even say that Robert Rodriguez's movies may be all connected, like the Spy Kid and Machete. Did you know Machete? Machete? The crazy action slugfest with the Mexican guy? Who's part of the Robert Rodriguez Planet Terror Grindhouse movie type deals? Did you know that that's the uncle of the Spy Kids? What? Come on, he's crazy, right? Kid movie and adult movies connected. Whoa. So it's possible that all the Robert Rodriguez movies are connected too. Or is it just the Spy Kids franchise? Hey, does that mean Shark Boy and Lava Girl are connected to the Spy Kids? Maybe. Anyway, there's all kinds of, and then in TV we got like crossovers. We have like the original television cinematic universe, which was Star Trek, right? You'd think it was Star Trek, right? Yeah, probably, maybe, possibly, because they got all these different Star Treks. They got movies, they got TV shows. And Star Trek had crossovers with crazy crossovers that Star Trek had. Like, there was a one with Angela Lansbury from Murder, She Wrote. She was in Star Trek. What? And then there was that crazy one where, that little black dude, I think he was in, that show with the rich white dude who adopted a little shorty black dude, which is connected to the Jeffersons, which the Jeffersons were on the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and so was Steve Urkel. So, and the Jeffersons were like the moving on up, and then which were on Fresh Prince, and Fresh Prince had some other stars from other movies, which makes them all in the same universe. Whoa! Mind explosions. Which makes them linked to Star Trek. mind explosions. Which makes them even link to Murder, She Wrote, which had which had a crossover with Magnum P.I., had a crossover with Incredible Hulk, and had a crossover with Lost in Space. Mind explosions. So they're all connected in the same universe. And then, of course, there's that really crazy theory, which is about the TV show St. Elsewhere, and the main star, the autistic kid. He's at the very last episode, he's like shaking a snow globe, and the snow globe happens to be the hospital, and the whole entire TV show's theory, Westmoreland or something like that. Anyway, the whole entire TV show happens to be just one big old inside his brain type deal. And then you're like, which connects like all the TV shows in the world together to, well, at least American TV anyway. Which I don't know about that theory, but even if it was real, it still connects St. Elsewhere to Homicide: Life in the Streets, which is connected to the Law and Order series, which I think is connected to the JAG and the and NCIS and maybe CSI and all that crazy drama shows. I don't know. Maybe they are, maybe not. I'm not sure. Or it's a different group. But anyway, I was looking up. There's all kinds of like different actual official television universes out there. And you could probably theoretically think that, hey, well, maybe you could think that maybe some of these crime drama and TV show dramas are all connected. I mean, you do know all the Law and Order and Homicide, which Homicide, the Homicide detective guy, he was on the X-Files. So the X-Files is in the Homicide, Life on the Streets, Law and Order universe. And theoretically, you could claim maybe they're all in the same universe because, well, X-Files is about the FBI, right? The FBI exists in other TV shows, so what if it's the same FBI? What if they're all in the same universe? And then, of course, you got the universe with the JAG, and JAG is in the same universe as NCIS, and NCIS is in the same universe as all those other NCISs. And I think they're in the same universe as they're either in the same universe as the CSIs or the Law and Orders. I don't remember which one, but they in the same universe. And then the CSI TV show is in the same universe as the Las Vegas TV show, and Las Vegas TV show had this one. There's this one episode where Dandler Mifflin from The Office, the comedy Office, actually had a room at the hotel casino for a special convention thing. That, you know, some of those office companies do that stuff. I don't know why, but they have those little convention things, greetings or whatever at casinos, right? Well, one of the times they had it was in that casino, which makes them connected to the same universe. So you have all these various official universes, and then you have these official, like, I think CBS or NBC or anyway, a lot of CBS shows have crossovers of other CBS shows. A lot of NBC shows have crossovers with other NBC shows. So you could probably say that theoretically, maybe, possibly, not 100% sure, but possibly all the shows on one television network are connected to all the other shows on the same television network. Maybe, possibly, could be, maybe, possibly. Not 100% sure about that. Then you have like the cartoons, and the cartoons have guest star cartoons on other cartoons, and that connect each other. Like Harvey Birdman, that was a cartoon show, Attorney at Law. He, on every single episode, he had a person from a Hanna-Barbera cartoon or something of that nature. So like all the so there's that Hanna-Barbera cartoon universe, which is connected, and then there's like some of the old cartoons. Then you have the Disney theory, where all the Disney movies are connected. Then you have the Pixar theory where all the Pixar movies are in the same universe, which those are theories. They haven't been confirmed, but they might be real, and because the theories are pretty good. And you have crossovers. You have all kinds of weird crossovers and stuff. It's crazy. Crazy. And then you have like all kinds of TV shows like X-Files and Fringe are in the same universe, but it's also in the same universe as Twin Peaks, I think, is what was Twin Peaks. Because the glasses that the guy on Fringe uses came from the Doctor in the Twin Peaks universe, but then that universe is also connected to the X-Files universe, but it's also connected to the Homicide universe because of that detective was on that one detective. I mean, just if you just follow that trail, that one detective, you can connect a whole bunch of universes together, a bunch of TV shows. That one detective from Homicide: Life in the Streets played himself, so he's still the same detective on like a whole bunch of other shows. And if you just follow that one detective dude from this show to that show and all these other shows, then you can connect those shows to him, and then any shows that those shows are connected to can be connected through the like 6 degrees of separation kind of deal. You ever heard of the theory of the 6 degrees of separation, where everybody in the world knows everybody in the world by 6 people or less? You can find a connection to like everybody through 6 degrees of separation or less. So like I know a guy who knows 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 a guy who happens to know, the president of the United States or something. Come on, that's like amazing. Even though there's like 6 billion plus people in the world, it only takes like 6 people. Yeah, I know I'm holding up 5 because I'm holding the phone. But 6 people, and you like literally can know everybody. Whoa. And sometimes less. Whoa. So anyway, so there's these awesome theories out there where it's like all the TV shows are connected, but then there's confirmed connections. There's like confirmed universes between different networks. Oh, and there's this cool movie that connects like all the westerns. Like literally all the classic TV westerns are in the same universe because of this one movie, and the movie is The Gambler. The Gambler series had like, I don't know, 4 movies or something like that. Anyway, in one of the Gambler movies, I think it's the last one, the 4th one, I'm not sure, I don't remember. But in one of them, he literally meets like all the classic TV westerns. Like he meets like the Rifleman, and like he literally like he just like meets everybody. All right, he meets all the classic black and white western folks. He meets them all. I think he meets Marshall Dillon and the Rifleman and like Maverick and like some other people. He meets like Sheriff Roy Bean, Roy Bean, or whatever his name is. Anyway, the point is, the Gambler guy, played by, the guy who wrote Kenny Rogers, the one who wrote The Gambler. You got to know when to hold 'em, know when to fold 'em, know when to walk away, and know when to run. That guy. Anyway, in one of his movies, of the 4 or 5 Gambler movies that there is, he meets like all the classic western people. So they're all in the same universe. Yeah. Because of that one movie.
It's like he meets Cheyenne,
It's amazing. So there's connections that you didn't even know existed until you watch these shows. And this wasn't even that great of a show. I mean, it's like a low budget movie that like not many people even know about, and then boom, wow, he mixes everything and just proves that they're all in the same universe. And he had to literally, the only way he could prove that would be to get permission from all the different people who owned all those different characters to have them in his show. And not only does he have them in his show, but he has the actual actor who played that person in the show movie. That's like a double. That, you know how hard it is to do that? That's like hard. That's not an easy job to do. Especially for a movie that didn't even get to go on the big screen. It was like a straight to DVD thing. I mean, if you weren't interested in The Gambler or Kenny Rogers or Westerns, you probably never even heard of this Crazy Connection or show movie. So you got like TV shows that are confirmed in the same universe. You got like cartoons that are confirmed in the same universe. You got crossovers that literally confirm the same universe. You got Easter eggs. The amazing Easter egg. The Easter egg of all Easter eggs that almost connects just about every TV show together. Marley cigarettes. All you gotta do is follow the cigarettes. They're in like literally everywhere. The smoking man from X-Files, he smokes those cigarettes. But guess what? People from Law and Order smoke those cigarettes. People from other TV shows smoke those cigarettes. Those cigarettes are all over the place. Not nowadays, because nowadays we don't look good. We frown on smoking cigarettes. But back in the day when everybody was smoking cigarettes, Marley Cigarettes, a fictional cigarette company, was in all the TV shows. Well, or a lot of them. Anyway, you can literally connect all of them to the same universe by a cigarette company. What? But not only by cigarette companies. You can literally connect a crazy franchise that's amazingly insane to connect these franchises, but we know they're all connected by one corporation. There are corporations out there, like companies, like businesses, that are mentioned in like all kinds of different movie series. One is the Weyland-Yutani Corporation. Yeah, that's the corporation from the Alien franchise, but it's also in the Terminator. It's also in the Terminator franchise. It's in the. But interesting thing is Weyland-Yutani Corporation has subsidiaries, and one of the subsidiaries is like a anyway, I don't even know the name of it, but they are the company that literally builds certain parts on board the Star Trek USS Enterprise. So Star Trek is in the Alien franchise universe because of this corporation. But this corporation, not only does it do that, but here's an interesting, cool little. Oh yeah, Marley cigarettes is the cigarette that Spike from Angel and Buffy the Vampire Slayer smokes. So there you go. They're in the universes where the Marley cigarettes exist. But Angel and Buffy are also in the same universe as Star Trek, because that corporation that's a subsidiary of, or a precursor, maybe, possibly, I don't know, of Weyland-Yutani, that company is also in get this, they're a client of Wolfram and Hart, which is the company of evil. But they're not always evil, they're good and evil and whatever. Anyway, the point is, this one company links a bunch of other TV shows together and movies. And then there's crazy Easter eggs where some people say, now some of these Easter eggs can be debunked, like supposedly you see the Millennium Falcon fighting on Wolf 339 or 3. Y'all Star Trek people will probably get me if I say it wrong. But anyway, it's the Borg. The Borg are attacking, and it's Wolf something, and there's this battle. And supposedly in Star Trek First Contact, there's this scene where you supposedly see the Millennium Falcon fighting. Now, you can't see it very good, so there's no real proof that it's a Millennium Falcon. No one's ever really said it's the actual Millennium Falcon. It could just be a spaceship that's shaped sort of kind of like the Millennium Falcon. But then again, the Millennium Falcon might actually be on Earth because conspiracy theorists and whatnot have actually found crazy things under the ocean, and in one part of the ocean there's this ground that's shaped weird, and it's supposed to be a rock, but it's shaped like the freaking Millennium Falcon. It's no way this rock could have been on a there's no way this rock could have naturally carved the way it did. It's just shaped weird, and they've done some seismographs or whatever and stuff. You just look it up. Look up Millennium Falcon under the ocean. You'll probably find it. Anyway, they found some weird stuff under the ocean. Some stuff that just cannot be explained, which even more so either supports the ancient alien theory or the flood. Either way, as a Christian, finding weird stuff under the ocean is more proof that the flood is actual, because they found cities and stuff under the ocean. Is that not proof of flood, a global flood? If it's not, it's proof of smaller floods all throughout history. It's either proof of one major global flood that happened like fast, so fast that it didn't even destroy the stuff under the ocean, or which makes sense for a global flood done the way the actual flood was, which was the groundwater. See, most people think, okay, it just rained 40 days. What they don't understand is that the Bible actually saying that the groundwater from underneath the planet rose up. So not only did it rain 40 days, but all the water from underneath the planet rose to the surface. So it's getting hit from the top and the bottom. And it's not just regular rain. It's like if I took like a garden hose and literally sprayed the a globe with direct contact with a garden hose. But I wasn't just spraying the world on one end. I was spraying the world from like every possible direction with that garden hose. So it's like multiple garden hoses. Plus the water from under the ground, the aquifer, or whatever it's called, the terranium, because that's what originally the earth was before the flood. It was like a terranium type deal. Anyway, that's a side note, but it's cool. It's a cool, interesting side note. So if groundwater literally just started coming up from the ground, it would cover up completely built cities, would it not? So more proof of the flood. And then the water hitting the planet would hit the groundwater that just already covered the cities and wouldn't do that much damage to direct ground in some cases, because of the water rising up. Water rises up, water's falling down, water rises up, and the water from the sky would be hitting the water that's got just popped up out from the inside of the planet. So that's cool. Anyway, there's all these cool connections. So all you gotta do is follow corporations, follow cigarettes, follow characters, and you can literally find people. Because there's characters who play the same character that they play on one show, and they play again later on another show, which creates them connected. Anyway, you also have like video games. Now, you have canon. Canon is what's called, is when it's official. It's confirmed that they're connected. It's officially connected. It's a confirmed same universe. Then you have Easter eggs, which create non-confirmed connections. Because people could easily debunk Easter eggs sometimes. Because sometimes, like that cigarette thing, well, it could be debunked that you could just say, well, maybe you could easily debunk some things. Some things are not hard to debunk, like the cigarette thing, for example. Cigarette thing you can debunk because you can be like, well, just because a lot of different people smoke the same cigarettes doesn't necessarily mean that they didn't have that cigarette brand in multiple different universes. It's a loose connection. It's not a very good connection. It's a loose connection. It is a connection, but it's not a very good connection. The best connection are actual people, characters. If a character is in one show and he plays the exact same character in another show, that automatically creates a connection. Now, you would say that would create a connection, but then some people can debunk that one too, and here's a way to debunk that one. My name is Jeffrey Howe Scarborough. If I look up Jeffrey Howe Scarborough on the internet, I'm pretty sure I'm going to find a few other people out there with the exact same name as me. So, you could theoretically say, well, just because they're the same, got the same name, does that mean they're exactly the same character? So you have to prove that they're exactly the same character. The same name does not mean same character. There's also connections in video games. Video games, well, the problem with video games is there's like multiple video game universes out there. So there's confirmed connections, and then there's loose connections. And video games, by different video game companies, they intentionally put Easter eggs to their other video games in some of their other video game movies or shows or whatever, video game franchises or whatever you call them. So while they do that on purpose, are they doing it on purpose, one, to try to get you to buy the other game, or are they actually trying to make sure the video game, all their video games in their franchise, in their lineup or whatever, are part of the same universe? Sometimes they confirm they're in the same universe, sometimes they... Oh, and another amazing one that I just learned about last night when researching about connected universes is this one, which nobody even knew was around until people started actually, reading his books and finding out stuff. But here's an amazing one. I'm just going to throw it out there that all Stephen King novels, everything Stephen King's ever wrote, are all in the exact same universe. But Stephen King doesn't have one universe. His universe is a multiverse. So even if this story is in this part of his multiverse, it might be in this universe, and this story might be in that universe. Because he actually created a series called The Dark Tower, which in The Dark Tower, the Stephen King, the people from The Dark Tower, they travel through the multiverse, which the multiverse is all of Stephen King's writings. So even his unpublished works are probably part of this multiverse. The interesting thing is, he has created a multiverse where you can read a standalone novel, and or a standalone novel series, and it doesn't matter. He has created his, where his stories might be in the same universe, but it doesn't matter it doesn't affect one story over another story if they just happen to be in the same city. It's like, this story's about Jack, this story's about Joe. They both live on the planet Earth. Jack and Joe will never meet, and nothing that Jack does will ever affect Joe, and nothing Joe does will ever affect Jack. They just happen to be in the same universe. Like, okay, so both are having some crazy weird stuff going on, but nothing either one of them does is going to affect the other one. It's like me living in Memphis. I could live in Memphis my whole entire life, and someone else could live in Memphis their whole entire life, and we could never meet, and stuff I do could never affect them, and stuff they do could never affect me. There's stuff out there that, see, I live in the same world as every one of you, but my life does not necessarily is going to affect your life and vice versa. So Stephen King created a universe where that happens. And since Stephen King is the master of universe creation, he even put himself in his own universe, which means we, because he lives on Earth, are all in his universe. Boom. Mind-boggling
How about
explosion.
you have this one that's unusual?
Mind-boggling explosions here. Well, anyway, so there's all kinds of connected universes. Movies, video games, animation, cartoon. Seriously, there's so many different connected universes. Connected universes. They're all connected. So there's theories that connect them all. There's theories that don't connect them all. And then the best thing is, the idea is that it's probably not one universe. It's probably a multiverse. See, if you throw in the idea that it's a multiverse, then it's easier to connect all these different universes together through the multiverse system. Just like the Matrix works, I would try to explain how the Matrix works, but nah. If y'all don't know how the Matrix works, then you don't know how the connected multiverse system could work. But you also, you can just look up multiverses, and they'll explain how things work in multiverses. Multiverses work basically like you exist in another universe as somebody else. You're still you for the most part, but you made a different choice in that universe than you did in this universe, and that one choice has changed your whole entire life. One thing can change historically or not. All it takes is one thing to change, and you create a whole entire multiverse. That's how multiverse system work. So all these TV shows, whether they're linked, some are directly linked, others are not that directly linked. But the ones that aren't that directly linked, you could probably say maybe there's a multiverse, and all television, watching TV is just a gateway into another universe. Watching that TV show is actually just a gateway to watching another universe. Well, anyway, remember, God is good all the time. All the time, God is good. Jesus loves you. Keep on gaming. Keep on collecting. Keep on... And if there's any cool multiverses, universes, connection links that you think are cool that you saw or I didn't say, comment them down below in the thing. And Jesus loves you and Jesus is God. And everybody have a great day. Later.